So in today's Cheeky Finance, I'm gonna be doing just as usual some technical analysis on Bitcoin. I'm gonna look at the daily charts and also at the hourly charts to see what possibly can happen during the short term and the long term. I'm also gonna be heading towards some altcoin charts, and the reason is because they are presenting strong bearish indicators and this might have a play with the Bitcoin dominance. So if you're curious about it, just chill and keep watching. Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, and this is your host, the Cheeky Entrepreneur. So first of all, I would like to tell you all Happy New Year. I hope that you have some good holidays. I personally think that 2018 was a very difficult year for a lot of us, but we must grab all those mistakes that we made, and we must grab all this understanding that we achieved over the last year and make 2019 a better year. So as you've seen, I'm rolling out with a new intro. So before starting this technical analysis, I would like to give a big shout out to my friend Andre. He helped me out by animating my logo and my new intro, and I'm gonna leave his Twitter in here in case you want to talk to him. Maybe you have a logo and you require some animation to it, maybe you want to do a similar intro. In any case, you can contact him there. So let's just start with a technical analysis right now. So first of all, I would like to go through the daily chart, and the reason is because there is a very important indicator and pattern that we're seeing, and I think everyone in the crypto community already sees that. And just because of that, I'm a little bit suspicious, because whenever everyone or most of the people see a pattern like this, it tends not to happen. But let's just go into it. It's basically an inverse head and shoulders around here. We have a shoulder there, a head in here, and a possible shoulder over here. So this is not a real pattern until it actually develops and becomes true. But it looks like it might. For instance, if we look at the volume, there was increasing selling volume around here when we were forming the first shoulder. Then there was a decreasing selling volume when we were developing here the head, and finally we're seeing a decreasing volume right now that we're actually going down. So we have basically the necessary things to complete this pattern. So as I just said, even though this pattern could actually develop, and if it actually develops and breaks up, we could achieve potentially a target price of around 5k, I would say. Yeah, I would say something in the vicinity of 5k to 4.8k. But in any case, now something that I want to point out and very important is the indicators that we have right now. So I think the stochastics have played a very huge role here in the daily chart. As we see over here, we've been going from overbought positions to oversold positions, and we've seen that the price has actually moved quite dramatically alongside with this indicator. And now we are still going down, so I could be expecting a move down in the Bitcoin price, and I will give some more reasons about this thought that I have in the video. But apart from this indicator, something that I'm looking at is the exponential moving averages. So here in the green line we have the 50 EMA and we have the 20 EMA here in the purple line, and we have seen that the 20 EMA has provided a huge support for the price right now. So this has been a very important line. We did not only see the price break this line around here, we saw tremendous support in here, the price went up, and we also saw a second support right here. So this might be an indicator that this line is actually a very strong support and that we might actually go up. Now, even though we have that indicator pointing up and giving up some resistance, we also have this 50 EMA coming down, and this is where this pattern might or not develop. And the reason is because we have found that the 50 EMA represents huge support for the price, and it is a possibility that if we try to come up here, we don't have enough momentum to actually break this level, and we could ultimately bounce back from that EMA. If that were to happen and we could not be supported by this 20 EMA, we could go all the way down to this previous low given by the head and shoulders. So this would mean that we could still develop this pattern, but again it's not possible to tell right now. Now, one last thing that I want to say in this daily chart is, for instance, that we have been developing lower lows and some lower highs. For instance, in here we actually develop this low and this kind of high, but you can see it in the price itself. But right now we're actually in the point that we are not sure if we are actually developing a higher low. It's too soon to tell, and the reason is because in reality this price could still go up in here and still go down, and we could still see this as a leg and not really as a bottom. And this is why this exact zone is very important, and it's gonna be very important in the following days, because this is basically the time that we will actually see the price moving up and establishing a new higher low in here, or we could see the price going lower and still find potentially a double bottom if we go here to 3.2k, or potentially a lower low if we actually break that level down. And again, I really believe in the technology, I really believe in Bitcoin, and I think in the future, of course, it's gonna be going up, but we can't be trading with emotions, and we still have a bearish bias. We are still in a bear market, so we have to think that even though there's a lot of potential to go to the upside, we still haven't seen any potential kind of bullish thing. For instance, we are still developing lower highs, and we could potentially develop another lower low. So we will have to wait, and definitely this compression zone is gonna be very interesting in the following days. So now going to the hourly chart, as I have said before, there's a very good way of trading, which is basically trading with channels, and we have seen a downwards channel developing around here, and I put it in this line over here going down. And it's very important because something that I told you is what you can do. It's just basically copy paste that same line, and that will give you more or less your channel. So we've seen that this was kind of like a bigger downtrend over here, and usually, well, mostly all channels we have a middle line, and this middle line will act as support as well. So what we've seen from this channel is that the price actually went up, found some support, went up, broke this middle line, went back up, broke down, gone again, it found support at the middle line, went back down, broke the line, found support at the middle line, traded in this respect, and then finally broke out. So it's very important for you to understand how these channels develop, because that's gonna give you the sentiment or whether the price is actually on a downtrend or on an uptrend. So now that we have broken this trend line in this point exactly, now we have to say, okay, maybe the bias is gonna change, at least for the short term. So the way to start computing a new trend would be to actually mark this this low and this kind of higher low, and then again what you can do is of course building this trading channel just to have more or less expectations around it, and you can create the middle channel, and we see that again we're actually finding support here in the middle. Now it's this 3.9k is gonna be a very important support line and a very important support zone, and the reason is because I said in the daily chart the actual 50 EMA is around the 4,000 range in here, so we will have a lot of pressure from that line over here. So first of all, if we want to see a change in the bias, we will have to break not only the 3.9, we will have to break also this trend line, and we will also have to break this high here at 4.2k. So we will need excessive amounts of momentum in order to actually go up, and this is one of the reasons I'm still skeptic about this inverse head and shoulders formation, and not because I don't believe it will actually develop, but I don't think it will develop as fast as we think. I still think we have some momentum to go down, and we were actually gonna see if the bulls can acquire enough momentum to actually break all of these lines. So in addition to what I just said, we're also seeing that we're actually kind of developing a small bearish divergence over here. We have the RSI kind of at the same level, but we keep seeing the price continue going up, and this is something natural that happens in cryptocurrencies. You will find divergences upon divergences. So I still think in the short term we might still be able to at least test this 3.9. I actually would like to see us breaking this to the upside around here and potentially creating a bigger bearish divergence over, because we still have this high here in this RSI, and we could develop an even bigger bearish divergence. So now that I finished doing the technical analysis on Bitcoin, I want to go through some altcoins, especially Ripple and Ethereum, and the reason is because they have been developing some interesting signals. Now something that I've said before, and the reason why I'm still kind of bearish is because of course we're still on a bear trend. We have not made yet a higher high, and until we make that, we can't actually say that we're actually gonna start the bull run. So we have been seeing lower lows and lower highs since the beginning of 2018, and that's something very important that we need to take into consideration. Now, looking into altcoins, for instance, if we go here in the Ripple chart, I'm actually a little bit worried, and the reason is because we have been developing again divergences upon divergences. So for instance, if we go to the RSI, we have seen that the RSI has been going down around here, establishing a lower high and then another lower high. So we have basically a downtrending here, but yet when we see the price here for Ripple, we see that there has been a high in there, then a higher high, and then another higher high. So even though a lot of people are looking at this as an ascending triangle, which I am not denying that it could potentially be it, we also have to take into consideration that there has been a lot of momentum and not that much of a correction, at least with Ripple. So there's two things that could potentially happen. We either really break with enough momentum here with this ascending triangle, and we actually go even further than the 10,000 satoshis that we already achieved in here, or we could take a look at this and we could see that it might be forming what kind of like a rising wedge. And if we were to break that, of course we would actually go back down. And again, as we see, we have had tremendous support from the 50 EMA. So if we actually broke that, we could be aiming to go all the way down to maybe even 8,000 satoshis. And I really want you to focus on that, because not only has Ripple shown that, but lately Ethereum has been also showing some kind of divergences. And again, this is kind of worrying in the short term, because even though we have shown, bulls have shown big momentum to the upside, this momentum should keep going even further, and I don't think we have the fundamentals necessary right now in order to actually break these levels. So for instance, here with Ethereum, we see again that the RSI is actually pointing down, but what's happening to the price? The price is actually going up. And again, this is one of the reasons that I'm thinking that we are gonna see some tremendous play with the Bitcoin dominance. So for instance, here we are actually looking at the market capitalization, and the Bitcoin dominance is actually going down. It was around like 53%, now it's 51%. So I'm thinking that because of this, we could potentially see another bleed out of these altcoins. I think they're gaining in very strong momentum and without any strong fundamentals. So it's totally possible that as we keep pushing this momentum up, we will find out that we are gonna not have enough momentum to actually break all of those resistances that we have mentioned. And what I think is gonna happen is that because we're not gonna find a momentum to break, people are gonna sell off their altcoins at least for another time, and they're gonna go back into Bitcoin. The Bitcoin dominance is of course gonna go up, and even though Bitcoin might go down in the short term because it cannot break all of these resistances, this altcoin cycle might give the opportunity to actually gain enough momentum to break, at least in the Bitcoin charts. So in any case guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, and only if you did, mind subscribing and also push that like button. You know that I'm active in other social media. I got an Instagram account and a Facebook page where I not only put the highlights of my videos, but I also put more posts on entrepreneurship and news about the different financial markets. I also have a Discord server where you can join in for free and discuss topics related to cryptocurrencies and entrepreneurship with me. That's actually where I will be most active. I'm actually gonna make a pilot VIP group of some sorts where I'm gonna not only give more content in there for the people who are subscribed, but I'm also gonna be giving more trading signals throughout the week. I will be giving this for free for the first 10 to 15 people to actually join the server. Please do join the server, links will be down in the description. So in any case guys, just as usual, I would like to remind you all, stay smart, stay bold, but most important of all, stay cheeky. Take care guys.